My dad's new wife had an adult temper tantrum the whole day. So for backstory, my dad is recently married to a woman that myself, my siblings and many members of my dad's family do not like. She has done some very hurtful things in the past year and is very controlling of my father and his contact with us. Anytime she doesn't get her way, she has an outburst and my dad takes the path of least resistance and just does what she says, even if it comes at the cost of hurting his kids. However, I decided to put that all behind me and invite her to my wedding anyways, knowing sadly that my dad would likely not come to my wedding if she wasn't invited. I did however only ask that he come to the rehearsal, as it would only be about 20 people and I didn't want any drama happening the night before the wedding. My dad agreed with the plan months ago, but then a week before called and said he wouldn't be there if she wasn't invited. I stood my ground and said I'd see them on the wedding day. That seemed to have set her off. She arrived in a bright red, sparkly mini dress. Multiple guests were overhead asking who the stripper in the dress was. Cried before the ceremony started and refused to stand as my mom and dad walked me down the aisle. Sulked and disappeared for family photos, even though I was inviting her to be in them. Loudly said that she didn't want to eat any of the shitty food that was being served for dinner. This comment actually got my grandma, who never says a mean thing about anyone, to tell her that if she can't be respectful then she needs to leave. Got into a fight with my dad and threw her drink. Kept disappearing to drink in her car, then reappearing just to sulk and cry in the corner. Luckily, none of these events impacted my night at all. I had the best day ever. Still trying to decide how to confront my dad about how concerning this behavior was. He knows what she is, but he gets to fuck a stripper in a red sparkly dress. That's all he's thinking. Don't confront him. Just let him know that when she takes all his money, he can't live with you. I wouldn't invite this woman to any other event I promoted, and if my father got upset, that's his problem. I'm sure he knows. You had a great day. Be glad, and move on, far away from her. I don't think your dad needs to be confronted, he's probably embarrassed enough. But if you want to, frame it from a place of concern, not confrontation. Is everything okay? I'm worried because I noticed you and XYZ arguing at the wedding. Men, I don't like drama. Also men, let me divorce and then marry the most toxic woman I know, who my children hate. She hates them too, she's trashy and she's only in it for the money. If she ever mentions your wedding to you and has something smart to say about it, just laugh and say you think that was bad. Everybody thought we'd hired a stripper when they saw you in your skimpy dress. What you need to do is talk to a therapist about setting boundaries and letting go of your dad. BC, unfortunately he will do nothing. So you need to work towards minimal to no contact with him too. BC, she will do this at your baby shower, for the birth of your child, every Christmas and Thanksgiving. You can't save your dad, but you can save yourself and your milestones. Unfortunately, confronting your father won't change anything. He knows who he married and continues to take her side. Don't make your father choose between her and you. I'm sure he loves you very, very much. Confronting him will just alienate him away from you. I honestly believe that that's what stepmom wants. Don't let her win.